All right, and welcome back. We are to die for. This is going to be episode number 5. Hooray! It's always been a while for us. It's bad, but we're trying to get better. We're getting there.
Time is up.
So my name is Aaron. I'm going to be the DM. We're going to do introductions real quick, starting on my left here with Boz.
Hi, I'm Boz. I'm Eric. I'm playing Boz. I'm a Circle of Land Druid Wood Elf.
I swear it hasn't been this long. It's just been a long day.
What are you again?
It's been a long day.
It's
I'm
been
a Wood
a
Elf
while.
Circle of Land Druid.
The road's just been bumpier.
Yes.
Sorry. fixing
Technical
my thing.
difficulties.
It's fine. You can't see it. It's fine. Hello, I'm Michaela. I am playing Helene. I am a halfling rogue.
I'm Tim. I'll be playing Mais the Mundi, the Luxodon Tempest Cleric.
Hello, I'm Jane. I will be playing Ashore, the Tiefling Barbarian. There we go. I remembered.
We all had to remember for a bit. And
What
once
am
again,
I?
we are to die for. Thank you for tuning in and watching this weird episode. We do have some special little guests in our back room who will be playing the part of Pixies, who every once in a while may be giving one of our players just a call for assistance. So there may be some movement going on. Please let them be. You know, Pixies from the Feywild, you just can't control them. You just got to respond to whatever the will is.
I will be summoned away occasionally. Who knows? Whisked away.
But with that, we'll go ahead and give our recap. So last time, the party found themselves, after escaping from the slaver ship, the Hog's Blood, stranded out in the middle of the ocean with Mazdamunde helping keep the little rowboat afloat throughout the rest of the evening, becoming not officially exhausted, but extremely tired, passed out for most of the rest of the day, as the party then found themselves rowing south until they saw a mass of land. Going onto land, they were able to safely come ashore. No signs of any dangers, minimal life, but the vegetation on the island. You found remnants of a shipwreck of sorts. You got an assortment of items from that, a lot of which relayed much more akin to merchant ships of sorts. From there, Azure did see hints of footprints. Not hints of footprints. You found some footprints going on, indicating that there's at least one other creature or being of sorts on this island. From there, you guys hauled Maz up to an innermost portion of the island, where you found a nice little tucked away corner underneath the tree in an embankment. Using some hemp fabric, you created a little tent area. You found some wild yams in there, and you kind of set up for the night, exhausted from all the travels, but finally nice to be enjoying solid land and freedom again. During the night, both Helene and Azure just decided to fall asleep rather than really watch, but it was okay.
Wasn't a decision. It just happened.
It just happened. But nothing bad actually happened. Boz, during his time, did see a light in the distance that did go out, and this was around midnight, 1 a.m. But nothing else happened throughout his watch either. After which, early in the morning, Boz, with the rest of the party of Azure, Helene, and Mazdamunde, were all awakened as you heard singing coming. Before that, though, with Mazdamunde now back in the party, we discussed the few things that he probably would have been doing, waking up on and off kind of throughout the day. So if Maz, you would like to kind of share of some of the little things that you would have been doing last session.
Yeah, so the first thing, getting back to the roast, fishing on the mind. Right. It could be a big help here, so I started sort of fixating on that.
He woke up in the boat by himself, and he's like, I don't know where everybody is, but I'm just going to kind of do my thing here.
I'm going to need food at some point. And so I started to work, piecing apart the golden flute, taking up a little knick-knack in here, a little trinket from there, and fashioning myself, along with the help of some old nails from the shipwreck, making a rudimentary fishing hook, and then stealing away some fabric, threading it out, and then twisting it up, trying to make a fishing line and a fishing hook, and then all I need is a stick, and I can start catching. Putting food on the table, as it were. In my high day, I could feed 10 people. Just On average, no trying. Easy.
So, with that kind of being covered, as all of you start coming awake, although you see Helene still like maybe a little in and out of sleep, and talk of pixies going around and having to help them with little chores and tasks.
Should go with balmy.
But all of you are awakened as you hear this voice just kind of lightly echoing kind of through the forest, humming a little tune, and it seems to be getting closer as it goes.
Am I like awakened by this?
Yes, everyone. So Azure, Helene, and Maz, you guys are all awakened by it. Boz, you're already awake, but you do hear this. It seems this voice that started singing hasn't been singing all the way coming through. Seemingly had gotten closer and decided to start singing at a point. You don't have visual on this person at all yet, but the voice, given everything, sounds only maybe 100 yards away or so.
What's that noise?
I'm not
You
sure.
guys hear that?
It's approaching us.
Is the song like really unsettling, or is it like some sort of like, are they just like whistling while they're walking, or is it more of like a jaunty
It
tune?
reminds you of Galadriel.
It is much more of an entertainment tune. There isn't anything to it. You can actually start hearing some of the lyrics as it goes.
Okay.
And you
So we
just,
can understand it too. It's in common.
It is in common, yes.
Okay.
It's not at least intended to be haunting at all. But you just hear the voice like humming along. It goes, dashing through a field with goblins on my ass. They think that I'm a meal. Oh God, they're gaining fast. And you hear this as that starts getting like closer and closer.
Should we,
Friend or foe?
I mean,
I don't know.
they're sort of announcing their presence, so I'm assuming either it's a lot of foes or it's just one friend.
Do you think they know we're here?
I mean, I would assume so.
I mean, we did have a fire last night.
We weren't exactly subtle in our time.
But the fire was contained by the blankets. It would be hard to see from the outside, though.
Well,
Somewhat.
there's your
Most-
problem. You should have dug it. What's the place that starts with a D?
Dug it? To dug
No,
into the
a
ground?
geographic
Hollow.
location. Anyway, you dig a fire out.
Yeah, we were a dugout, so it was beneath the left side.
Yeah.
Yeah, kind of.
Yeah. It was like Drakenwald or something like that. I
They
can't
might be
remember the
friends,
location,
though.
but they were the ones that coined the fire out.
I mean, worst comes to worst. Can I climb the tree and see if I can see it better?
Yeah, go ahead and make
Get kind of a vantage point?
Yeah, go ahead and
I'm
make
gonna use this dice.
an acrobatics or an athletics check.
You didn't fail me, so that's better.
I look over to you. Well, ready to rumble if this goes
Acrobatics.
fast?
That puts me at a 19.
19.
You say that, and I grab my short swords from the floor and like start kind of fastening them to whatever I can on my clothing. Just as
I
more
have my short
intimidation.
sword in the scabbard, but
A
it's
rags
just
of
like
clothing.
I've got it in my hand, ready to go. Just
You're able to pull it out quick.
Yeah.
So Helene, you're able to scamper up the tree just kind of partway, realizing that you probably can't go all the way to the top before the foliage of other trees is probably going to start obstructing
That's
your view
fair.
more than helping. But before anyone else climbing the tree, you do get a bit of a sight. It's still kind of hard to see as the other trees in the area are kind of obstructed, so you just catch more of little glimpses.
thank you.
But unfortunately, your perception's also a little distracted by other little pixies.
Well, I didn't exactly do a perception check yet.
Oh, that's
now,
right. You
did
haven't
I?
done perception. So,
So I mean, can I do a perception check once I
Go
get to the top
for
of
a
the tree?
perception check, yes.
I'm looking really hard.
Not hard.
Not hard enough. Let's see.
There's
That's a whole
the pixies.
9.
Nine.
Yeah, there's the
Nine.
pixies.
That was the pixies.
You hear these
Damn it.
little voices start echoing around you.
Start looking around the other directions. Maybe the singing's coming from over there. Who knows?
All that you're able to really pick out, it does seem to be a humanoid of sorts.
Female,
What?
masculine, feminine.
You're not able to make out.
I
but
can't
you-
tell. It's a singing voice.
Yeah, the voice itself does seem masculine. And whoever they are, you just catch a lot of red coming from them. You can't tell if it's skin or if it's clothing, but when you do catch a glimpse, they stick out very prominently from a lot of the other brown and greenage of the surrounding landscape.
Okay.
And they are like casual. You're able to kind of pick up the speed too, which is kind of a casual
They're
pace.
strolling.
Yeah.
Can I determine then if they've noticed us, if they know we're here? Or are they
Not
coming
with a
like
nod.
towards us, or are they just kind of strolling through the forest?
They're headed towards you guys in a manner, but it's hard to pick out exactly just because they also seem to be going around trees and stuff. So you're not able to get a clear
Okay, that's fair.
sight
How
of that.
far away would you say? A couple hundred yards?
You're looking at probably 150 to 100. Hard to tell.
Okay.
With a 9.
So,
Hey guys, there's a guy over there. He's wearing all red and he's singing to himself. He might just be strolling in the woods. I'm not sure. He seems like he's
Just,
just kind of hanging out, but
He's
I don't
just,
know if he notices us or not.
Just some.
I keep
That
hearing other
does.
little voices though.
Was he balmy?
Oh my god, it's a pixie.
There's just some bloke out there. I mean,
I didn't even
we
notice.
should
her
probably
until she was
say
right
what's
there.
up, right? You know, if we've got good intentions, I feel like it should be easy to talk to him.
Yeah.
Seems like a jovial sort.
Go talk to him, see if he knows anything about the island.
Yeah.
I'm gonna stay up here for a minute and watch him and see where he's going.
But if he acts real suspect when we're talking to him, I mean, we
I
definitely
mean, we
gotta,
got
like-
in a shipwreck,
Yeah.
so
Yeah, but if this is like somebody's island, right?
as you guys are kind of discussing this, you hear the voice getting closer, or the individual getting closer as the voice gets a little louder and a little more pronounced, as it continues to kind of sing along for a song.
I'll hop up and sort of like gesture to the folks on the ground and be like, well, we should probably meet him a little bit outside of camp, right?
that way.
Yeah, yes. Let's,
You gotta go that way. But you gotta
Right.
kind of cut him off because he's heading in that direction. He's right over there right now, but you kind of gotta, yeah.
We'll plan an intercept course.
Interception.
Yeah, and I start. I guess I'll start going that way, and I'll start belting a sea shanty.
I'm gonna stay in the tree. I'm gonna stay in the tree. I
You're
don't really
staying
want
in
to
the
meet
tree.
people.
Boz will keep a few feet back. Not trying to hide, really, just kind of giving him space so we don't overwhelm this person.
Boz also doesn't like people very much, from what I've
Boz
gathered.
doesn't like people very much either.
He's used to living in a cave by himself.
That's correct.
A little bit of a hermit.
Yeah. Meanwhile,
All right,
Asmund
very much
loves people. He just doesn't trust them very much.
So, as you go and start belting out a opposing sea shanty
Yes.
of sorts, the voice, as you start belting it out,
99
you do
bottles
hear
of rum on the
it
wall.
stop for a moment, as you don't hear any response, but no rustling or anything else. And after there's kind of a break as you're getting a bit closer, the voice then actually kind of calls out and it's like, as it goes, I hear a fine tune, but is it a equally as nice person, or should I be afraid?
Well, I mean, if you've got good intentions, then we could talk about it. But if you got a couple mates waiting to ambush us, you out here bushwhacking, or are you just another poor fuck like us?
Well, it depends. Do you have a ship?
Not anymore.
Well, then we're one of the same.
All right, come in.
So, as you kind of do that, like pushing through some of the vegetation,
This huge elephant just rolls up.
Oh, you're a big bloke, aren't you?
well, yeah. So, what you guys see as he sees Illy's a giant elephant, an elf,
And an over 6 foot teeth, like bulky
and a
tiefling.
massive
a giant tiefling.
Who did not skip arm day.
Yeah. So, but you guys, trying to pull it up. Where'd it go? There we are. But you guys see this.
Oh no, it's the pixies.
Like a dull ruby red tiefling. Come out.
One of us.
But
Hey, look, it's mini you.
yeah, he has noticed he's definitely smaller. He's not like small. He probably is around, 6 foot 5'11" ish. Not a large build either. Definitely like has some muscle on him, but is not one who is has done maybe
More of a
manual
dexterous,
labor, but
lean build.
yeah, that lean build. Thank you.
The pixies
Gotcha.
know.
Yeah. With the pixies causing a bit of a commotion, though, Boz, and Helene calls Boz back to the tree to kind of help investigate
to calm the forest
Yeah.
spirits.
Yes.
Yeah, we have to appease the machine spirit. I mean, tree spirits.
Yeah. But you guys, anyway, going back to that.
Sorry.
That's so good. But yes, so I don't know if you caught that.
I'm in the tree. I caught nothing.
Oh, that's true. So
I'm far away.
doesn't
I
matter
just
for you.
see what's happening. I just see what's happening.
Meanwhile, we went and caught ourselves a tiny tiefling.
Yeah.
Is he
So-
is he actually just like normal person height? He's just not a giant tiefling like him?
Yeah, he's like 6'5", 11-ish.
Okay.
Lean build. He does have two horns that spiral and go back. So maybe a little more unique in that
More
manner.
like spiral and go back like ram horns,
Like,
or more
yeah,
like
like ram horns.
No,
or more
like
like
spiral,
like
like-
gazelle horn kind of.
More
Yeah.
of gazelle, but very tight.
Kind
Okay.
of
Very
away.
tight and just going
Kind of
almost
straight
straight
back.
back. Yeah.
Okay.
So not like backwards this way, but out and up.
Well,
We have gazelle and
Christmas
rat here.
Christmas
Nice.
ornament. That's what I think.
nice rack.
So he kind of comes up because it's like, oh, so you're a big one, and
I get
Like-
that a lot.
so are you.
I'm sure he does too.
I mean, I tried.
I can tell.
Yeah. Handy in a scrap, though.
I'm sorry, what was that?
Handy in a scrap.
Yeah,
Yeah,
sure.
A tussle.
Well, as long as you're not here for me or to do any scrapping against me, I'll feel probably a little safer knowing that there's some other
What?
intelligent creatures on the island.
Yeah, I was figuring we either going to be alone or there's going to be some horrible fucking tribal indigenous, like, I don't know, just some bad times ahead. But it's good
Some
to see
cannibals on the island.
a good friendly face.
Yeah. Well, I'm just glad to have another conversation that's not with myself. It's been a few weeks, and
Oh,
it's
weeks.
been, yeah. And as you look at him, you see he's looking a little more on the gaunt-ish side. Not fully malnourished. He's definitely been fending for himself, but has probably been intentionally eating a little on the scarcer side. Just not sure of how long this is going to happen for any type of stranded situation.
Is there anybody out there with you, or you out here? Oh, what's your name, by the way? I'm Maz Demundi.
It's nice to meet you. My name's Phileas. Phileas Fortalt.
I'm gonna call him Phyllis.
Phileas. Well, nice to meet you, Phileas.
I hope it's nice to meet you too. Can't say it's been unpleasant so far, but
Yeah. Do you have any? I mean, you've probably got a bit more of the lay of the land than we do, but we do have a campsite set up and look like sort of a temporary situation. But we're sort of fixing out to bulk up our supplies for a bit. If you've got the skill to survive here for a few weeks, and you didn't just eat everybody that crash landed with you, right?
no. I
Inside
wouldn't think
check.
of that.
You'd be a meal.
19 on the die roll. I am fucking. You're not gonna
As
get
you-
me, cannibal.
Yeah. You look into his eyes, which you notice are almost like a sparkling blue.
23 total.
23 total. You notice two things. The first is that his initial reaction to hearing that does seem to be like disgust. Like
Okay.
the thought of it, you can tell, is very outputting. But you also notice that it's just an initial thing. You see that guttural kind of reaction. But then it's followed up with a much more presented reaction that's the same, of very disgustful.
Okay.
So you
Not
it's-
getting cannibal vibes.
No, not at all.
Okay.
The exact opposite, actually.
yeah.
It's like, oh, just the thought of that makes my stomach turn.
Well, perfect.
Ugh.
And yeah, you'd be. I think you'd be more than welcome at camp, right? More hands is better hands.
Sure, though I could handle the time alone.
Well, I mean, sure, you know, step off, get a lay of the land, whatnot.
Yeah, I'll take
I
a
mean,
look around.
You strike me as a man of the forest.
Yeah, I might just be that. I was able to handle a couple hundred years alone.
Oh yeah. Speaking with all this, I do.
That's right. Your race lasts a long ass time, doesn't it?
Yeah, I'm not even that old.
I feel like age is becoming very subjective the more we're going into this conversation.
Time is
I've
a
heard that
humanoid
before, too.
construct, mate. You can't
Pretty
be
much
tying
is.
yourself to it.
As of last that I can remember, I'm 375 years old.
Bleed no.
Like, he just looks like, dear God, yeah. I can't consider that young by any means.
I'm not young. I'm more middle-aged.
Sweat starts kind of going down Azure's forehead as he hears how old he is.
It's like, oh, you certainly got a wise one with you. And no disrespect or negative connotations to that statement, but if you're wanting a...
Sorry, just no. You finish your thing first. I just had a question about the local vegetation.
All right. Well, I can include that, because if you're going to look for the lay of the land, if you go that way, and he points to your back where you guys came, you'll find ocean. If you go that way, you'll find ocean. And if you go really far out either other way, you'll still find ocean.
No, I gathered, right, being an island.
But for the actual vegetation, kind of what you see here for this tree and fauna is pretty predominant throughout everything else. The only thing that's any different that I would be a little more wary of, on the southeastern side of the island, there is a cove. I've heard... I went to investigate it once, and there's strange sounds that come in it, so I've just avoided that side of the island ever since.
Thanks.
Now I'm curious about there.
Yeah, no,
We
I
do
mean,
have
no,
a
we
rowboat.
definitely.
That's the closest thing we have to a boat.
Yeah.
Well, that's better than anything I've been left with, and I unfortunately am not skilled enough with my hands to confidently make a raft.
Relatively speaking, are we then more on the northern side of the island?
Yes.
I'm pretty familiar with aquatic vessels and living on the ocean. I probably said it a billion fucking times by now, but I was a fisherman for quite a long stretch of time.
The pixies are getting loud.
I mean, we can properly make a go at this. I just want to make sure that you're not gonna. We need to strike an accord here and now that you're gonna be with us. You know, part of the team and be a team player.
If you can offer any advantage of getting back to the island and
Well, we most
getting
certainly
around
can.
some of the sharks that I've seen kind of circling closer to the southern shore,
Sharks, you say?
that's been another thing. I don't trust my skills with that.
I haven't been harpooning in ages. I used to go whaling off the coast.
But yes, I am all for any cooperative work to be able to return to any form of civilization. Granted that it's a proper, humane civilization.
Right. I mean, we get back to mainland and then we could sort it out from there, right? When there's actual people and infrastructure. But I feel like that is a reasonable agreement. I think we can all... Yeah?
Yes, I think so. More hands. Could
More
make
hands is more good. We work
Get
together
something
as a
easier.
team.
More hands make light work.
We're a crew now.
Many hands make light work.
Yeah,
Yes.
that's saying.
That's the one.
Oh, wonderful. So yes, I'm happy to show you to my little campsite, and welcome to see yours or not. I'm afraid I don't have too much to offer, but I'm happy to assist in any way that you see would be beneficial, as I'll be honest, roughing it out on an island is not something I am used to, but thankfully the vegetation's been quite generous here, and there seems to be a lack of a lot of predators on the island.
I mean, that falls into the question I was going to ask, was if there were any big predators to watch out for. But have you noticed any particularly springy, sort of like supple wood growing anywhere around here? Preferably of like a darker branch variety.
Oh, let me think. Unfortunately, nothing in the terms of long reeds or whatnot, but I'd say that your best bet's going to be from trying to get any branches from the local trees here. So I don't know if that's going to be exactly what
Is
you're
there
looking
like
for.
an area in Ireland that has like very young trees?
The more on the outskirts that you go on
Okay,
either side
alright,
is you're going to
alright.
probably find some more of those. So if you didn't see any more around the northern edge, which does get blasted quite a bit, so it's hard for young ones to go. But if you look on the south side, you'll probably find some more successful ones. And
Alright.
from there, you'll if you look far off in the distance, you should be able to then see the main continent down to the south. You'll just kind of see it on the skyline. So it's
Huh. Not that
it's a
far
few
away.
leagues away, but
Right. Well, it'll take a little bit of preparation, but yeah, I think that's pretty doable.
will I fit in your rowboat?
We can modify, but I'm pretty sure.
I'm willing to give it a shot, given that you were the first ones to sail by that I've been able to.
Yeah, we just
see.
extend the side a little bit so we displace more water horizontally. I feel like we should be fine.
This will probably work out better, actually, because I didn't make up a whole person. So 4 people is better than 3 people, and I can just sit on someone's shoulders or something. We'll be good.
Yeah. We'll get
I'm
it
not, large,
sorted.
I'm not that large myself.
I am quite large.
Bigger than I am.
That's true.
The 2 large guys just he's like, hey.
So, are there any others besides the 3 of you? Are there any? Like,
Oh, there's one
Are
more.
all of you big? Or
No, there's one more in the trees somewhere.
that sounds very disconcerting.
Don't be. It's
As I'm actually with that, I will very quickly cast thaumaturgy on myself and just turn around. Aline, we're good to go.
He kind of leans closer to you, Maz, like, should I be concerned?
Nah.
I'm gonna come running.
Okay.
Nah,
Fast
don't
as
worry
my
about
little
it,
feet
mate.
will carry me.
So Helene, you
She's so
come
good.
running up, and again you see this like a dull ruby red tiefling.
I did great. I'm jumping over branches. I'm kind of like, okay. Give me the go ahead.
Jumping, jiving.
You called?
Yes, we found someone.
Yeah, this was
It's
Phileas.
like
2'5" thing.
it's like comparatively you look adorable.
Yeah, said there was no problem. Also, a bit rude.
I take offense to that. Other halflings can call halflings cute, but when somebody else does it, it's kind of just offensive. It's kind of a race thing. You can't say that.
I can't believe you said that. Actually,
I apologize.
Give him a
It's
I
been a while, and
understand-
I'm not going to lie. Your large friends here are kind of intimidating, so
I'm not intimidating.
you do not look it. But
That's
at
okay.
the same time, after that, I feel like I should be much more aware of everything. I do apologize.
I am not all bark. There's a little bit of bite, but I understand that your intentions were pure, and you seem like a pretty nice guy from the 3 seconds of interaction that we've had, so I'll let us slide for now.
yeah. Water under the bridge.
I'll take it as a compliment.
I appreciate it.
Do you have shelter set up, or are we gonna have to sort
Does
that
he have
out?
a camp too?
Well, that's what I'm asking.
Who
now.
is this guy? Who are you? What's
This
your
is
name?
Phileas, by the way.
Phyllis?
Phileas.
Phineas.
That's the one.
His name is Phileas.
Phineas.
Filbert, I think.
Phileas?
Phileas.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. I'm still gonna say it wrong every single time.
Like a Roman Phil. Phileas.
Phil is
Philly.
with us. Phileas.
Philly cheesesteak.
Phileas.
We don't know what those are though.
I've never heard of a cheesy steak.
Phileas.
Well, it sounds good. I mean, mellow cheese on hot beef. We could be onto something.
We can make an entire brand.
If we get out of here, we're gonna make a
Make
brand.
millions.
Well, I mean, up in Nodsucker, there's a few restaurants that serve something similar. So,
Bugger.
but maybe you could condense it into a single thing instead of just a simple,
Mini
slab
sandwiches.
of like a steak
Right.
Lighter.
with
Some
just
sort of-
cheese on it.
Some sort of, like, not quite a mariner sandwich, but some sort of submariner sandwich, right?
a submariner.
some sort of cheese and steak in the middle. Anyway, sorry, got food on the brain. We're up on an island. Do you have a camp or not? You've been dodging around the question.
I have a camp. I did mention that a while ago.
Oh, sorry, I
I
wasn't-
will be honest, though, that sounds very pleasant, and I have not had a good meal in quite a while, so I apologize for any drooling that might be going on. It's
No,
just-
no worries.
We have yams.
As Masmony
Yeah.
wipes a little slobber from
He
the
doesn't-
corner of his mouth.
You watch as he takes, like, you see, like, he goes to reach for something, and then, like, stops and just, like, goes and brushes it off.
We have some yams back at our camp if you want some of those.
That sounds amazing.
What have you been living off of?
Some old rations that I scavenged from our shipwreck.
Was
That
it
is
your shipwreck
fascinating.
On this was this your shipwreck on the North Beach here?
If we want to split
Yes,
into teams of
whatever's
three.
left of it now.
Okay. We found some fabric and some other things we were able to
Yeah,
use.
yeah. Do we want to split up into teams of three, right? And then have a camp team and a gathering team?
I apologize, but I only count 5, so how do teams of 3 work?
Yes, how would that?
Oh, sorry, that's my schizophrenia.
Just
The team
because
of
I can turn
Peter
it-
I was taking a
Very
minute to do that
intense.
math too. I'm like, wait a second.
You mentioned like everyone simultaneously like starts
yeah.
like everyone else holds up 5 fingers. Yeah.
3.
And then there's
Master Monday
Maz.
holds up his
You
his
don't
6
count
fingers.
as 2 people. You don't count as 2, even though you're big enough to be 2.
Just because I could become an animal doesn't make me 2 people.
That's fair enough.
You can become an animal.
Oh yes, I'm a druid of the land.
He changed into a
Alright.
giant lizard and helped us get free on the slave ship.
Ah.
I'm
It
actually
was crazy.
I'm actually quite handy with like stitching people up. I'm actually a practitioner of medicine.
Oh. Well,
It's not like we were.
I
enslaving people, we were the
congratulate
ones
you on
that-
your
Yeah.
newfound freedom.
Yeah.
Thanks. Those guys suck.
Yeah.
Slavers are
Quite
quite
a
awful.
diverse skill set in this group.
They only had me for a couple days. I was intent on leaving, and I did.
Edgy.
I'm
But it should make a good story. You must enlighten me sometime of your tales.
I just look at Phileas at this point. I'm the brawler. With like this giant smile on my face. I'm the brawler.
He's like, I feel that's a little irrelevant given our survival needs right now, but I will keep that in mind at civilization.
Listen, it might come in handy if we got to wrestle down a shark or something. You know. I heard their weak spot is their face. Right? If you punch them right in the nose, they really don't like it. I don't know why, but
I feel like if you try to punch anything that large, it's just liable to try to bite you.
no, apparently it sets them off reeling or something, like discombobulates.
I'll be honest, I don't think I'm ever going to attempt that, but I don't have the physical prowess to have any confidence in pulling it off anyway.
Right, well, if something does happen and you find yourself facing down a shark, boop it in the snoot.
To boop the snoot.
Remember, boot the snoot.
Boot the snoot.
Yeah.
I don't like sharks or water, so I don't think I'll ever be in this situation. But anyways,
pretty
you said you were hungry, right? We should get back to
Wait.
camp. None of us have eaten yet this morning, and I am famished.
Yes, you approached before we could get our morning. meal.
Actually, Phyllis, before you head back to camp with them, can you point me in a direction?
Phileas.
I know. Can you point me in the direction of those younger trees?
Oh yes, just gonna be straight south that way. And since you're heading over that way too, if you just kind of look to the right, when the elevation changes, there's a little bit of a rocky alcove. That's where I've set up. Feel free to grab anything that you see up there that you don't already have or you find might be a bit useful.
Right. Can I come with? Or
I'm
I'm
gonna
a-
go get some food.
yeah.
I'm hungry.
I'm okay with joining you just to make sure we get all of our supplies in order. Although I do have a question for you, Phileas.
Yes.
I did see a set of foot tracks down by what we're pretty sure is your shipwreck. That seemed at least a little more recent. Have you been down there as of late, considering the amount of time you've been here, or?
Oh yes, once every 2 days or so, I double back there just in hopes of finding something else. There were some uncracked boxes, but given my lack of strength, I wasn't having too much time or too much success of opening them easily, and figured that I shouldn't waste all of my energy on it.
Oh,
wasn't
we
that
broke
much.
those open.
Oh,
So we could probably pool our resources together and share if you want to help us get off this island.
I will be quite honest. Again, I don't feel like I'm going to be able to contribute too much, but I am extremely open to assisting in any way I can.
You've been here longer, so you've got a little bit more knowledge than we do about the island itself.
Yeah, that's good
Yeah.
enough. For
Well,
there.
But just want to ask that to make sure there wasn't someone else on the island we might potentially have to be worried about. But
If
if
there
it's
is-
just you, then
If
Yeah.
there is, I am not aware of them.
Okay.
Right. No vampirates or horrible kraken.
Oh God, I hope not. But no, from what I've been able to tell, it is just me. So,
Fair enough.
but now it is the 5 of us.
Yes. A merry band. So, shall we?
All right, that's all I need to ask. Let's go.
Um,
Cracks
yeah, yeah.
knuckles and starts to head.
So we're gonna head off in search of his camp and something I can use for a fishing rod.
So as you guys head off, he kind of waits and is like, I feel like I might as well follow if this is what's happening.
I mean-
I can show you my camp.
Oh,
Yes,
I mean,
let's
yeah.
take a
I mean,
I guess breakfast will wait.
Oh, I mean, I was just planning on skipping breakfast and having a big lunch, but
We'll see what we can find. Anything.
yeah. Should we check out the camp first?
Yeah, I'll scavenge for food on the way as well.
Yeah, I'll keep an eye out as well.
Okay. So,
Yeah, we'll keep an eye out for edible foods of whatever we can recognize.
so 2 of you go ahead and roll me a survival to see what you guys are able to find
16.
along the way. 16, okay.
Guidance.
Good idea.
Oh. 12.
12. So as you get more inland, it seems like yams aren't growing in this area, and you don't actually see anything else right away that you can identify as edible. And there's a few signs of other stuff, maybe like some berry bushes, but they seem to have been picked clean. Seemingly Phileas probably scavenging more inland than you guys initially were.
Any animal activity on this island? Anything other than like
Folks, tracks. of
yeah,
any
like
sort.
birds or boar or something like that?
Nothing as large as boar. There are small animals such as like squirrels.
Okay.
More of the rodent size, and you do hear birds up ahead. So seemingly, there's probably some nests somewhere, but none of them are in sight.
Poultry.
Gotcha.
Where is the nearest crossing to another? Well, I mean, it's an island, but where is the closest part of the island that is closest to another section of land? Like, where can we cross to the mainland?
So if you're looking at that, it is going to be definitely on the southwestern tip of the island.
Okay.
So thankfully not on the cove where I've heard the strange sounds on the
South-
southeastern tip.
Okay.
But the southwestern tip is going to be the closest little jump. Despite that, that's still quite the gap still. But as you guys continue to go on, he does lead you a little bit to the right instead of going kind of straight south. And as you come across this rocky alcove, and you see a very standard camp of someone who definitely doesn't know what they're doing. So there's like just
Really shoddy.
it's really shoddy. Like there's a fire, there is a fire pit that he's made, but the ring itself of it is like super wide, and there's a lot of rocks stacked up. Like it's gonna it feels like it's gonna make a difference, even though it definitely doesn't. And there's just tons of ash that's just piled on from all these sets of logs burning over and over again. Doesn't seem like he's ever cleared it out.
Okay.
He did find a fairly nice, very small outlet of stones that create just like a little kind of like cubby where he is tucked in, and you see all of just a mess of supplies that have just kind of been shoved in. You do see quite a few empty bottles lying around, seemingly of wine.
Got to pass the time, I suppose.
And as he goes up, he goes and actually reaches into a pile, like brushes off like 2 empty ones, and pulls out a full one and does hand it to you guys.
Oh yeah, I immediately take a big swig.
Were you walking around last night after, before midnight with a light?
No, but given the distance where I found you, and given how dark it is, you might have just had that perfect little glance to be able to see it. I had a pretty big fire going last night.
All right. Well, thank you.
Did you see something?
I
But
saw
you
a light
see-
walking around.
Doji.
But you do see like a few piles of rope that he was able to scavenge off. And then he's got just a large stack of wood that he seemingly is like slowly drug up from the shipwreck, and it's just this mass pile that's still there. Probably also something he grabs when he goes down. And then besides from that, you see also piles of what you guys would recognize as rations, so they do seem you can tell that they've definitely been soaked through and then been dried in the sun, so the edibility is probably a little more questionable, but it seems like he's still just kind of going through them.
Okay.
And then besides from that, I'm trying to think. You see a random assortment of clothes as well, of all different types that seemingly he's scavenged through, any or maybe has picked up of other things that have washed ashore.
Any particularly large ones that might be able to
Go ahead,
fit?
roll me just a straight nat 20 for luck.
Because we are wearing natural 20.
Natural 20. And everyone can roll a just single luck thing to see if they have if he randomly happened to pick something up that's kind of your size.
I got a nat 20
7.
as well.
16.
All right. So, Azure, unfortunately, there's just nothing that quite fits you. It's either
I already got clothes. I'm fine.
Yeah, but everything you would find was either like uncomfortably tight or definitely too big. Maz, you actually do find a fairly nice like leather jacket, or almost like a leather trench coat of sorts, that was made for someone massive that does actually fit around you fairly nicely.
Oh, nice.
Men's big and tall.
Yeah, big and tall.
Helene, you find a fairly well-conditioned like light blue shirt, and
It was like toddler size.
it's a little bigger than toddler, but it
Just
is
a
small.
little bit.
It does fit you, as well as seemingly like a matching pair of blue pants.
Ooh.
So it was probably more for a kid, and they're like the exact same shades of blue.
Literally, my 5-year-old is 2.5 feet tall, so I'm like, I'm right around there.
I'm
I'm gonna take those with me. Can I have these? I mean, you're obviously not wearing them.
Oh, by all means.
I
Cool.
throw the jacket on without asking. I'm like, oh yeah, probably should have asked.
He's like, I just grabbed these in hope of if someone ever came that I would have something to sell to, try to be able to get back to my business. So
I could trade you 2 yams for it.
deal. I was
Okay.
going to give them anyway, so
That
2
works.
yams is a nice.
Oh, sorry. No.
And then real quick
Yeah,
for
fine.
Boz, with a 16, you find a jacket that fits. It's just a little on the big side, but it's not uncomfortable. And it's a pretty standard brown jacket, but it's thicker than anything you have, and probably would provide at least a little more resistance to any kind of weather.
I even like the color.
Now Azure has a tear in his eye, seeing the rest of his party just get immaculate
We
clothing.
are all
And
such
all-
different
It's
sides.
okay, Azure. We could make you something too.
Yeah, and for all of it, it's not like top line material at this point. Everything has been soaked. It's been dry.
Right.
It was like sea salt
It's warm.
too.
Yeah.
So
I'll take some of
everything's
those.
a bit crusty.
I'll take some of those sullied rations and try to like mesh them into a ball, use them as bait.
All right. As you see him doing, like okay, like you see him like holding back, wanting to stop you, but he lets you do it. Like he doesn't.
Yeah, I don't take like a lot, because it's. I mean, you only need like a tiny little.
Yeah.
Yeah. But
All
yeah,
right.
just
Tiny
taking
gumballs.
taking some of the worst looking ones, like picking out whichever one looks worse, and then just meshing that into little balls.
That's easy enough. But looking around, besides a few other wine bottles, there doesn't seem to be anything else of actual value here at the camp.
Well, we should probably take the rope and the wood, right? And then
Yeah.
we've got a fire pit
Are we
here.
cannibalizing his camp? Is that what's going on?
Are we gonna take over his camp? Or
No,
are we
I'm
gonna-
asking, like, did we want to combine forces, or are you wanting to stay kind of in your own space here?
I am more than welcome to
Yeah.
join your forces in
Okay,
this sense.
I just
as-
didn't want to take over and like come and just take all your shit and go. Like,
I think he'd like some. He'd
Well,
like
I mean,
someone
yeah,
to
he's
talk
coming
to.
with us, so I mean,
you
fair
want
trade,
some
right?
company?
Yes, I greatly
fair.
appreciate the
That's
company,
smart.
and knowing that you will be providing probably most of the skill to be able to get off the island, I am more than happy to offer
And there's
any of
safety
the
in
collection I've
numbers,
had.
so okay. Well, then let's just bring all the shit back, and then we can make up some yams.
Besides,
Sounds
the
good
ship
to me.
itself wasn't mine. I was just a passenger on it, so I
That's
don't have
fair.
any attachment
Are
to
you
this
the
stuff.
only survivor?
Well, I haven't found anyone else, so I'm assuming so at least at this time.
Weeks. How did you survive?
Pure luck.
And
I believe that.
why did your ship crash?
Well, I was on a charter ship that was headed from up north. Oh, what's the place? Sasaki, way up north. Me and a little traveling caravan were traveling through there, and we chartered this ship to head down south. We were going to Suderheim. But unfortunately, as we were rounding
Suderheim.
the southern bay of Jotunhell, a large storm front was coming up from the south. Now, normally, most of the captains would have enough sense to forcibly, if they need to go north to avoid a storm front, they will. But unfortunately, our captain on this ship was a very paranoid man of Jotunhell and wanted to get no closer, so made the decision to sail right into the storm at full speed to try to minimize the time within it to get safely to the southern end. And
Oh boy.
He took a
As you-
gamble and it paid poorly.
Exactly. So, ship capsized. I floundered out into the sea before clinging to a barrel and washed up here. A few days later is when most of the shipwreck ended up washing ashore too, and every once in a while something else, till about a week ago, would still kind of float up now and then. So that's my story. How about you? Well, you said you were part of a slaver group, so...
Well, we weren't part of the group. We were slaves.
Yeah.
And
Yes, you
we
were-
broke
yes.
out, and...
We were hostages.
We killed a couple guys, and we got out. And then something else happened, and I think they blew up their own ship. And it started to sink, and we got a rowboat, and we got away. So we've been on the water for like a day and a half before we found this island.
Praise
So-
to the Lord of
the
Thunder
storm
for
the
getting us out of that one.
Yeah, that
one
storm
was
like 2
It
nights
was
ago.
a tight scrap.
Yeah, it was quite the
Yeah,
quite
it
the
was
beast.
a rough one. He sailed all night through it, or he rowed the rowboat. He kept us from drowning.
Well,
so.
you know, I got a big man
MVP
looking out
here.
for me.
I did what I could to save the others, but we were the only ones who make it.
Yeah, they were kind of wusses.
Well, a couple of them.
Do
tried to
you,
go
by
away,
the way,
but they
Phyllis,
got washed away.
have
It
you
was
heard
really
of the great
unfortunate.
word of Thor?
Oh,
I have heard the
Not
word.
again.
I myself am not a practitioner of such beliefs of that, though I like to pay respects to any of the main deities such as Thor to, you know, at least stay in good graces and not have something else besides the chaos of the world trying to strike me down.
Right. On stormy seas, there's no one better.
But yes. Anyway, you wanted to see the southern tips.
Yeah. Take me to the
We
young
can do that
trees.
after we eat.
Yeah. What? Yeah, we should probably.
You're
eat
probably
first.
pretty
that
hungry if
might
you haven't
even
eaten
be
in
a
while.
good idea for like tomorrow too. Like, I feel like it's probably like middle of the afternoon
No,
now.
it's
No,
morning.
It's very
Damn
morning.
it.
We just woke
Okay.
up.
Yeah.
Well,
It's morning.
that's a lot earlier than I thought it was gonna be.
Yeah, you guys were woken up from your sleep.
We'll
basically,
carry our
that-
stuff
so
back.
And it's been like an hour tops.
We'll carry this stuff back
Travel
to camp.
tops.
20 minutes.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
We'll carry this
How
stuff back
long-
to camp. We'll make breakfast and we'll tour the island.
How long
should
would
we
it
move
take
on
us to
camp
get
here?
to the southern tip of the island?
We have the yams at our camp.
Right.
So-
I mean, they grow. Oh,
They don't grow this far back.
Oh, okay.
If we hike from here just to the southern, not the southeast or southwestern tip, which is the farthest, but just to the south side, it's going to take probably about a solid 4-hour hike. The terrain is not inhospitable, but it's a little rough here and there.
Looking
Nothing
around,
dangerous.
do I see any vegetation I could use as a fishing rod?
Well, we had already discussed about or for the rod itself.
For the fishing rod, because it doesn't really need to be that spectacular, right? It just needs to be sturdy enough to take some tension.
Go ahead and roll a perception check.
Guidance. Can I use my
Actually, I'm going to say investigation instead of perception.
can I use my sniffer on this?
Can I use my sniffer?
Would my nose help me here?
What's your reasoning for it?
This smells like a nice wet tree.
How is your sniffer going to help you pick out a type of branch in a forest?
Yeah, that's an excellent
This one's
question.
got some
That
life
is
to
an excellent
it.
question.
So
I'm
gonna
not
say
sure.
no unless you can come up with something good.
He's really thinking.
Unfortunately, it's not like Demon Slayer.
2.
2. All right. So looking around, unfortunately.
Investigation, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, 2.
Okay. Wait, and that was with guidance.
Yes.
Do you have a negative on?
I have a
this?
-2 to investigation.
Oh,
He can't do that as guidance. That's
so
depressing.
Yeah, it just ate my guidance.
So unfortunately, everything, at least in this immediate area here, is either too. You do see thick branches that you figure it's like maybe if I take some time to whittle them down, they'll be more appropriate. So that's an option, but otherwise they're definitely too short and flimsy
Right.
to make an actual good enough pole to catch something of any substantial mass.
I feel like I have a brief look around, and then Mazdamundi stops in his tracks and he goes, "Wait a minute, what am I doing?" I go, "You speak for the trees, right? Could you help me find something I can use as a fishing pole?"
I'm not that kind of druid.
You're a
Well-
land druid, aren't you?
Yes, I'm not a plant druid.
Oh.
I was lucky to find my stick.
That's fair. I figured I'd ask.
It was worth asking, to be fair.
But yeah, everybody keep an eye out for something I can use as a fishing
Okay.
pole so we can eat
I can't
meat.
really carry stuff because I'm little. So I'm going to try to go a little bit quicker on ahead and get back to the camp, and I can start cooking for everybody.
Okay.
Yeah,
So
I'll
that's
load up.
really
Yeah.
easy. Again, like his
Shoulders.
camp
20
is
minutes.
Yeah.
not even 20 minutes
Maybe
away.
I got back like 5 minutes before everybody
Yeah,
else or
we
something.
load up
Yeah.
on wood and rope.
All right.
And I'll take a pouch of that I guess I don't really have pouches, do I? I'll rip off a piece of fabric and I'll
Hold it in your trunk.
basically spit into the ashes and make a little like lump of like ashy goo, and then just put that and wrap it around there.
All right.
Ew.
So as you and this is in his
It's got
campfire.
uses.
This was in his campfire, or
Yes.
Remian's his.
Yeah.
So as you do that and you spit, you actually hear a bit of a sizzle. Like his, like it hasn't fully probably
wow.
gone out.
He is not. You've got really poor fire management.
Did we even put out our fire before we left?
Well, no, but we don't care. we haven't been living here for weeks.
That's true.
Besides, it's very easy for me to light fires.
That is true too.
He looks at that. It's like, I wish I could do that. That would have made many nights a lot more manageable.
Yeah.
It's a very handy spell when you're living alone for a long time.
Admittedly, I've rarely been alone. It's not much of what I do.
Not my forte.
Much more of a people person, which is why this has been a fairly miserable experience. But
Yes,
it'll
I
make
can
for
tell.
some good stories.
Well, now you got some people.
Hooray!
Well,
more booze.
kind of people. I don't think any of us are.
You're
Anyways.
people enough.
We're humanoids.
I like your act too, by the way. Your horns are cool.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I didn't have control over it, but I like them myself as well.
Yeah. Hey, Azure, you have a perfectly nice rag too. It's beautiful.
There's nothing wrong
Compliment them
with
on
your
the
rack. All right, you're
see.
perfect the way you are.
He said it earlier. I had to bring it up again. It was funny.
It's okay. Some don't prefer the pointy racks. It's okay.
Yeah, it's mine, like, are ram ones that I wrap around
Yeah.
and have the points that come up off the sides. So just,
Yeah, his are a lot more perky. Yours are just kind of sloped down a little bit. It's kind of. But anyway,
You know, there are some who specialize in some augmentation or, special attachments for them if you really want to go for a new look at any time. But
You don't need to
hearing that
change
you're
a
a
thing
brawler
about
might
you.
not be your style.
Yeah, I bet if he headbutts people, he could crack their heads open with the pointy parts.
It's very possible.
Yeah.
Please do not try it on me.
well, it's too late for that. No.
All right. So you
You're
go
like,
back to your guys'
just a
camp.
19 hit.
Start cooking up some of the yams. So they were good sized, large yams too. So how many are you cooking up?
4. Somebody can have another half of mine because I'll probably only eat half of one.
All right. So 4. So how many does that leave you with?
5.
5 left after this. All right.
I supposedly had 9.
So you guys, you cook up those 4 yams, and they cook up really well. Have a nice, relaxed breakfast before Phileas kind of goes and pats his stomach, kind of leaning back a little, goes, well then, you wanted to go to the south, right?
yeah, I need a
Let's
fishing
do
rod.
that.
Well, I mean, I can fish by line, but it's a bit rougher in the ocean like that.
Yeah. How long is your line going out? Like, are you needing to go?
How long did I get it? I did roll like a 22 or something.
Yeah, so given the fact that we also before determined that you took about a yard of that hemp and double stringed it,
Right.
I would say you probably got a good 150 feet of line.
Ooh.
Perfect. Yeah, I don't even need
That's
a fishing.
immaculate.
I don't really need a fishing rod at this point. I could just fish by line with
Mm-hmm.
that much. I wander off into the beach. I go, we can check it out tomorrow. I'm gonna try to catch some dinner.
Yeah, I think we should we should
mean-
go this afternoon so we can actually camp over there overnight. That way we're well rested. We don't have to
We'll
march
camp in
8
the
hours
south?
in one day.
Yeah, we should stock up now, and then tomorrow we'll start harvesting from the other half of the island, right?
I mean, it's still early enough. We could make it there well before dusk is even approaching.
Yeah, we'll leave around noon. Then we have 4 hours of march. We rest, we look around, then we come back in the morning, so we're back here by noon. It makes it so we don't have to march for 8 hours at once.
Yeah, fair enough. Whatever you guys deem is best. But if we're gonna just kind of hang out, then I'm gonna just kind of relax. Maybe do another just search through of the ship just to see if there's anything else. But I like to try to stay busy.
Sir Phineas, what's your name again?
Phileas.
Phileas. Okay, sorry, I'm really bad with names. How big would you say this island is? Like, from end to end, like 2-3 miles? A little more?
We're probably looking at about, because the trade is rougher, it's probably about 4 miles from north to south. But the thing, from my best estimations of walking time, I would imagine it's closer to 12 miles from east to west.
Okay.
Why, boy?
We're not that far from the beach from our campsite, right?
It was very
No.
close.
Okay. Then
We were able to see the beach, basically.
Yeah,
from our
just
campsite.
holler if you need me.
Yeah,
And I'm gonna use my feature, harvest the water.
Oh.
I
And
can
Boz will be-
catch enough food to feed yourself and up to 10 other people each day.
Oh.
Okay.
Oh. And Boz will be looking for more food that could be.
Yeah.
He knows what the yam trees look like now, and he may try to find more, or he just might try to find anything else.
All right. So for Boz, go ahead and roll me a survival. Since your feature just lets you find food.
It gives me advantage on checks.
Oh,
and
advantage
it
fine.
says when I do succeed, I can catch enough food to feed myself and up
Oh,
to 10
gotcha.
people.
Okay. So go ahead and roll me a survival check then.
Gotcha.
Okay.
Good thing I have advantage. It was a 1 on the guidance. I don't think I rolled that twice.
So yes, Boz was using his own guidance, and he got a 27.
You find 6 more yams.
Excellent. Ooh, that's good for another day.
24 total.
24. You definitely succeed. And go ahead and roll me just a straight 20 to see what quality of food that you're bringing up.
Good fish, good fish, good fish.
Is this also made at advantage? No. 3.
No.
Oh,
It's what was it?
3.
he caught a
3,
bunch
okay.
of minnows.
So
He
yeah,
caught a
it's,
ton of
fish.
minnows.
it's a mix of like minnows and some crawfish that you find.
Oh man, I could eat crawfish. Yeah.
But it's all like it's all really small. Almost kind of more a feeder level.
Gotcha.
So there's enough there, but it's going to take a decent amount of work to actually properly skin them, cook them, and do that. But there is enough. Like it's massive hauls. It's more of, you're fishing with kind of the bait for a while. But in your endeavor, you actually found as you went down more east. Yeah, since you're up north, you went a little kind of east on that, and you found a little tide pool that was cut off during a low tide here that happened to just contain tons of little small crawfish and like minnow.
Gotcha. So I
like-
just loaded up
Yeah, so it was
Crawfish
loaded
dinner.
up. Yeah, so you didn't
crawfish,
even really
like
need
mussels and things like that. Just
Yeah.
like small, like reef-dwelling creatures.
So really easy to harvest. There's
small
just lots
crabs.
of small ones. Yeah.
Then I'll sort it out to like one pile fish, one pile crustaceans,
All right,
Right.
easy enough.
and I'll make my way back after my fishing endeavor.
During all of this, Ashore is still fairly close to camp, but he is putting a lot of attention into training with his short swords at this moment in time. Because while he has proficiency, he hasn't used them in a long time. He used a great sword before this, so just changing from something of this massive size to 2 fairly small swords for him.
All right, how are you training? Like, what does Azure do to train?
Oh, did any of the scrubs?
So-
on the ship?
What I imagine he's doing is he's up next to one of the trees and has the sheets over
other
his
slaves
sword
make it
still,
off the ship?
and kind of just at least trying to get a feel for how it feels to swing them around and get some of those strikes in on the tree without actually damaging and chipping his blades.
Okay.
Just hitting them against the trees, just really going in on the tree with his 2 short swords.
Okay.
Just really trying to get that practice back in because he's rusty. He kind of wants to get that back.
All right.
So, I guess while everybody's kind of doing their own thing, I'm gonna go explore and look for some food.
Okay.
Well,
Go ahead and roll a survival check.
Okay.
Who knows? Maybe we'll get lucky and find a pot.
I'm not doing a good job, so I'm just wandering around.
Okay. Ooh. Yeah, you kind of get lost in your trains of thought as you're kind of looking around. So it goes from like intensive looking to kind of light looking to just kind of daydream.
Oh, look at the birds.
Yeah, daydream wandering.
Those are pretty.
All right. So we'll say the next 4 hour or 3 to 4 hours till about noon summarizes up as all of you either finish your training, your hunting, your gathering, or your daydreaming.
Did I get lost?
Go ahead and roll a nat 20.
8.
Okay. Well, it didn't roll a nat 20, but you rolled a 20. So you get a little disoriented for a bit, but you've got enough senses not to totally get lost.
Okay.
If anything, you probably
where the fuck am I?
you end
I'll
up
just go
wandering
to
a
the
little
beach.
more to
I'll
the
just
south.
walk to the beach, yeah.
Yeah. You end up wandering a little more to the south, out of sight, but it's not too hard to, see where the sun is, and it's like, oh, okay, I know north. There we go.
Back that way. Okay,
Yeah.
perfect. So we're all meeting up again.
Yes.
That's nice.
Okay.
I'll take a few chunks of the wood, probably from the tree that he was scoring up, and I'll just peel off a few bits and just start cleaning fish and then skewering them on, and then
How
just get,
damaged is the tree after my training?
just like a few just
Okay.
like fish and like bits and bobs, just like skewered on there, and then move on to the next one and just keep making those.
All right. We'll say that Phileas goes and starts help trying to make a little bit of an assembly line.
Okay, yeah, perfect. All right.
Intelligence.
Crack on, mate.
So yeah, not something I'm super used to, but I have a little more experience working with fish and crustaceans rather than trying to set a fire up. So
Yeah. That's perfect. Yeah. And you want to make sure we leave the heads on us where all the nutrients is.
you see him kind of pause and his shoulders dip down a bit. It's like,
Listen, you're on an
Okay.
island, all right? This is a calorie counting game.
I'll be honest, I was kind of hoping after finding you guys in the talk of the rowboat that we'd be talking more of hours to days rather than days to weeks before leaving.
I agree.
I mean, we're not going to be here for a week. Jeez. No, we're just taking a little bit of time.
All right.
We need to be ready in case the worst happens.
You know what? After everything, I think that's a very smart play.
Yeah, we didn't get here by accident. We got here through sheer desperation.
Yes, and I would rather not have that same level of desperation needed to reach the other side or the mainland
Exactly.
as well. So I will take that to heart. Thank you for the lesson.
Of course.
Even though I may not enjoy this, but
Listen,
survival comes first.
Yeah, the sea is a cruel mistress.
All right. So
Sorry I'm late to the party, guys. I got a little lost in the forest.
Ah, no worries. I'm
So,
making skewers.
The pixies, they're back.
So what are we doing now? What's the plan?
I was thinking we could probably... I mean, I don't really know how to do it, but I've seen it done, right? Where you modify, a boat, and you put, a cluster of wood on either side to stabilize it. Give it more...
That'd be pontoons.
Yeah,
pontoon, yeah.
Like that.
I've seen those.
We could upgrade our rowboat to, a row pontoon.
And that would allow for us to all fit more comfortably.
Yeah, and we could pack a little bit of stuff on as
It'd be
well.
more
Is that what
stable
we're
as
doing
well.
right now? Are we taking the boat and going around the island?
I mean, no, I'm
We're just
spitballing
working on-
ideas. Yeah.
Okay.
That's a
It
good
seems
idea,
like
though. It'll
it
make
would
us
probably
fit.
be in our
So-
best interest, right, to get a stabilizer for
Yeah.
our rowboat.
Maybe we could find a mast.
So
and use
are
some
we
of this
not
cloth.
touring the island right now?
We've
We're
got
not going to
some
go to
here.
the south end anymore?
I think we can tour the island still.
Yeah.
yeah, I believe that was still the plan. Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, we
Everyone
were just spitballing
Yeah,
ideas.
yeah.
now.
Yeah.
We could walk
Okay.
and talk.
Okay.
So, if everyone's ready, I'll show you off to the south side. Then, is there anything we want to take with us?
I'm bringing some of the food with me.
Bottle of wine?
I'm
Oh, more than just one.
Yeah.
gonna prop up the skewers and then just sort of push the fire down a little bit so it's just covering them in smoke. We're just gonna smoke
Ooh, okay.
our
And during this, I will actually cast Druidcraft to see what the weather is supposed to be for the next 24 hours, just to see if we're going to get hit by some wicked storms
That's smart
again.
too.
Dude.
I have some amazing power here.
Mate, you could do that this whole time?
I already did it.
He's done it a
Over
couple
on
of
the ship.
times.
Yeah.
Oh, that's
Did you not see
right.
me do
No, that's right. I
We
said-
were joking
in-
about him
we were in
having a
cages,
seizure.
You know, I didn't see it very well.
Yeah, we were joking about him having a seizure because it all happens like pretty instantaneously. So if it's like cloudy and sunny and cloudy and sunny, it was just
right. I remember.
Yeah. So looking ahead 24 hours in the future, as you reach out your hand and you see like little, like almost a passing landscape as the sun kind of passes over sky very quickly. It seems sunny to like just light clouds most of the time and a clear evening night. So good weather ahead.
Yeah. Dude.
All right, we're not gonna have to camp up at least for a while, considering what the weather's supposed to look like for the next bit. So we should be good for all kinds of travel from this point forward.
Nice.
I just had the thought that what if that spell had the same accuracy as like actual
Weathermen.
meteorologists here. Like you kind of need to cast like, okay, here's a rough estimate, but you should probably cast it again in 4 hours just to see if anything's changed.
We'll also be moving to a different place.
Yeah.
Right.
And it's like if you went from Prescott Valley to Chino Valley. Like in theory, the weather should be similar, but it's probably not gonna be.
It's yeah.
Yeah.
It might be snowing in Prescott and it's barely raining in Chino. That makes so
Sounds
much
about right.
sense. Yeah.
Or it's a downpour in Prescott Valley.
Yep.
So, oh yeah, surprise! That's where we live. Ta-da.
Oh yeah, we live in that state.
We've been doxxed.
Oh no.
Oh no, I'm sorry guys. Should I have not said that?
Cut the
You're
program.
fine.
Oh boy.
It's the power of editing.
If we choose, we'll see.
Just hear
It's
a
not like
boot
people are
kick
gonna
open
come
the door.
find us.
No, we're fine.
We're
SWAT
not.
rolls in.
Yeah. So at this point, you guys start your trek to the south side of the island. Is there anything that you're wanting to talk to Phileas about during your roughly 4-hour trek? And you also kind of notice as you're going, it's 4 hours for him, but he's walking at a much more casual pace. You kind of imagine like if you needed to really get through, once you learn the terrain, you could probably easily shave an hour off this without even having to push incredibly hard.
No, Boz is continuing to look around. He's still worried that Phileas said he wasn't the one walking around with the light last night. So he's just looking around, sort of being quiet as he would do.
Yeah. Totally unbeknownst to Mazdamundi. He's
No, he
just-
hadn't told anyone.
Yeah,
that.
yeah. He's just
Yep.
He hasn't
Okay.
had a chance, really.
No.
he's just
All
bobbing around, having a good time.
Yeah. So, as you continue off, Phileas goes, and you get the sense that he very much is a social creature. And you can tell that the days or the weeks of isolation have definitely weighed on him. And as he opens up about different tales, and he shares that he used to be a performer, and still considers himself a musical performer.
Okay.
So he tells tales of all these different, a lot of places he's visited and gigs that he's done, which he seems to be quite honest, because nothing is ever super elegant, or he's never performed for any royalty or any nobility and all that. He seems very proud of what others might consider small successes that he's had. Of
Oh
like
my god, he's humble. Heck yeah.
So like B quality, like one of the incidents that he shares would have been like the recent one of him in Sasaki up north. Of he actually got to perform in front of a barracks of soldiers who were up there. Not like anything super impressive, but for him it was one of the biggest audiences he's had, and you could tell that he was just excited to have people with him, and he felt like he was starting to make a little bit of a name. And you get the sense that some of the people who died or seemingly died on the shipwreck he was probably fairly close to, and still is kind of grieving their losses. He mentions some of them, and gets a little somber after time, but then forcibly kind of picks the conversation back up and starts to recount other tales.
Right. Yeah.
Azure shows a lot of intrigue about his discussions of theater work, being this like big performing stage actor and all that stuff, just from his own life experience. It's like, oh, That's actually kind of cool.
Yeah. He's like, oh, it was nothing big. It was much more small stage, and we had our instruments, but it was quick on and off. The majority of the time, we're performing in the streets to make a few copper or silvers if we're lucky here and there for a meal for the night. Every once in a while, we would get a gig, or be able to convince the tavern owner to let us stay for any additional patronage we were able to bring in for the night. But more than that, we tried to just represent Non-Secker the best we could. I mean, that's who we were, the Non-Secker performing caravan. So.
I mean, that sounds like more than, at least in performance, than I've ever seen in my lifetime outside of any street performance. So that already sounds more interesting than a lot of what I've seen.
Well, unfortunately this time it is just me, so once we reach, ideally to Suderheim, I'll try to recruit some more talented musicians of whoever is willing to venture off with me and try to start from scratch again if need be. At least we have a name, though, to go off of.
Yeah.
But what about you guys? What have you guys? Any extravagant tales? Anything to pass the time? I think we're about halfway at this point.
I mean, I got a few, but I don't know if anybody else is willing to share. I know I talk quite a lot.
I was with the court that cursed this entire land 300 years ago. I'm trying to fix it now.
I'm sorry,
Just kind of like, I think everyone just kind of stops and looks and it's like,
Wait, what?
Say what?
if you weren't an elf, I wouldn't believe you, but
Elsa just told us you were
he's gonna go and
375 years
like,
old.
okay, actually, go ahead and roll persuasion.
You were a kid when this happened. No
He
way.
was, actually. 9 minus 2 is 7.
7.
He doesn't even elaborate, though. He just keeps walking.
So,
Yeah, we all stop and you just like walk ahead of us for a little bit, then we all catch up.
yeah. As you're doing that, Phileas kind of falls back and says in a more whispered tone, it's like, I'll be honest, I can't tell if he's actually telling the truth or not. Do you know each other well? Is that
Well,
true?
he's
known
never
him-
lied. He's
Yeah,
been
I've
a
known him for
very
short time, but he's been pretty straight.
serious guy.
Did you know each other before you were on the slaver ship?
No.
Nope.
The only people.
I knew
ones
that
out of all of us
guy.
that have- yeah, the only ones that.
But I
known
only
each
knew
other
him for
an
a couple
experienced amount
weeks.
of time is what, the two of us for a couple weeks.
Yeah.
Nothing crazy.
We became brothers and sisters in irons.
Can be a powerful bond, but it's just hard to believe someone. I mean, I guess he is an elf.
I mean,
We'll question him
stranger
more
things have
about it
happened.
later around a campfire. I'm sure it'll be an intriguing tale.
I got a
I'd
drunk
love to know
dial from a
more.
god.
Yeah.
I mean, there's stranger things that can happen.
Yeah. Although part of me wonders if how much I should know for something of that magnitude. Regardless, though, it seems like he's. Oh, crap! We got to catch up.
Oh,
He just kept going.
We catch up, and I start regaling the tale of Boris the Bullet Dodger
He was
and
happy,
how he
though.
earned the name
It was quiet for him.
by dodging bullets.
He goes and it's like fascinating. Did he really dodge it from 10 feet, or was there a gimmick to it?
No, I mean, and then at the time he did get shot up, right? I mean, they riddled him with crossbows, and he was fine. I saw him the next day. It was like he just went to sleep, woke up, and he was fine.
He must have had some powerful healing magic connections there.
Or something.
I mean, usually it takes at least
I've
at
never
least
seen
a
him do
week.
magic, though. That's the thing. Good old Boris. That was until, Gold Tooth Bill strangled him. Yeah, bit of a nasty character, that one, but couldn't dodge that. Needs air to dodge, turns out.
Huh. That's quite the tale. Anyway.
We've arrived.
Yeah, after that. So, you get to the southern side of the island, and it's taken closer to like 3.5 hours. You guys were probably able to push it a little bit, and that's more of just pushing him to move a little faster, not really
Right.
pushing yourselves.
Like us just walking faster and him noticing that he's getting left behind. And
Yeah. Yeah, you can tell. Yeah, he definitely is much more of a casual stroller.
the power walk crew here.
Yeah. So you get to the southern side, and as you exit out of kind of the foliage, very much like the the north side, there's kind of the gap, but the south side here actually has really nice, almost like pristine white beaches that cover most of the expanse there.
This is pretty.
There's very little kind of rockway, and the foliage actually goes right up almost kind of to the sand line. And then the beach itself is probably about 200 feet from the start of the sand to the water. And you can tell it's actually, even from a distance, it looks like a really gradual entrance into it. It's not just a hard drop off.
Right there. Okay.
So you can
There's
probably
like
wait out a decent little bit before it actually
drops off.
Any
like a
potential
shelf kind of.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right.
And as
That's
you kind of
actually
look
a
out,
fishing
you can
spot.
actually see from the shore the entire horizon, not by much, but by a little bit. It's just a mass expanse of land, seeing like as far as you can see on the other side.
How far away would you say it is? Long swim?
It's longer
Too far
than
to
you
swim.
would ever feel comfortable probably swimming. You're looking.
My little legs don't carry me that far.
You're probably looking at least around like 10 miles or so.
Oh God.
But as he
English
kind of does
Channel.
and points that out, you do look more to
Bering
your
Strait.
right at this stage, and it seems like the land from the distance kind of comes out, and you can see the island starts curving more south there. And Phileas goes and points that out. So if we head it down that way, it looks, you can tell a noticeable difference. It seems like it probably shaves it maybe a few miles off the trip from one side to another, but
Do you need to be done at 9 or are you good?
Yeah, I gotta get going on.
Okay. Just checking.
all right. But do we want to set up camp here? Are you looking for the south side? You had mentioned something about wanting to investigate the southeast cove and the other, the strange noises I heard there.
Yes,
at
but we
one
don't have to do
time.
that now.
I would personally prefer not to go there at all.
Strange
but
noises?
Yeah.
Oh, yes, you weren't there for that. There were some strange noises coming from the other cove.
What do you mean by strange
Yeah, it's
noises?
like a dodgy cove.
Like animal noises? Like
I would describe them more as monstrous, but at the same time, the moment I heard them, I did not stick around to experience any other sensation of them.
Right.
You have common sense, and that's very good. That's a compliment from me.
He's like, I have a will to live. I'll take it.
Yeah, I imagine you'd like give the compliment and you're just totally flat faced. Like
Yes.
there's just no changes
No
Nope,
emotion.
nothing
in
more.
it.
You are very intelligent in this manner. I appreciate that.
Is he being serious right now, or is he angry with me?
I don't even know what I said.
He's something.
He is definitely something, but I'm just not sure what.
He's had a rock in his shoe this whole time, and he just hasn't said anything.
All right. So, again, though, do you feel it's better to set up camp here? I'm leaving it to your judgment.
I'd say it's better for us to set up camp for right now.
Yes, let's find a place to see if we can
Yeah.
find another dig out like we found before to help conceal the fire some.
Well-
See if I can catch anything bigger.
All right. Well, would you prefer to look more east or west from here? Again, west to your right is going to be closer to where the shortest distance between lands is going to be. East is more towards the cove area.
what time would you say it is?
It's probably around 4 p.m.-ish, 3:30, 4 p.m.
Okay, so
So
we've
there's
got a
still plenty
couple
of light.
hours of daylight.
Yeah. You got about probably 2 to 3 hours left.
Let's
Okay.
go a little bit further. We'll go a little bit more for the west, away from where you heard the things, just so
Yeah, let's not
first
go.
precaution.
West is
Let's
probably
not
going to
camp
be a
near the
better
dodgy
idea.
cove.
I appreciate that.
But we'll keep the fire. We'll do our best to keep the fire concealed as it burns.
keep it quiet.
All right.
Uh,
So, as you guys are kind of walking down, go ahead and make. Let's do perception checks. Of trying, two of you making a perception check to see if you can spot out anything along the coastline that
making a lot of checks.
could be
Would you
used for
like to?
cover.
I will take one.
A 24.
Not super good at this. I don't need to be good at this.
Guidance.
I had guidance as well.
That was
Stealing your
close.
D4.
Go for it. Hey, 4.
Perception 9.
All right.
Cool.
Better than a 5.
Better than a 5.
But I don't need it.
Yes,
No
we got a
worries.
I got a 24. So turns out I've got a high perception.
I wonder why.
I'm pretty good at survival. I'm a bit of a survivalist.
Okay, so as you guys are going, it doesn't take too long. Probably about a good half hour kind of walk down kind of this edge of the beach, and you start getting a bit closer, but still farther away than the tip of the point, the southwestern tip of it. But Boz, you do see more kind of tucked in as there's a bit of an elevation change, a cave opening that seems to dip down a bit. Very ideal for any type of coverage for the evening that you're looking for.
Boss says, "It looks like home."
Right. Well, now
And nobody knows if he's actually being serious or not.
Well, we've got the location sorted, so yeah, I'm gonna go try to catch something when it's still light in the sky.
Sounds good. I'll prep the cave for habitation.
Gotcha. We'll regroup when it gets dark. And
Okay.
yeah, I'll go try to go over to that primo beach that we passed not too long
Who
ago.
wants to gather wood?
I mean, I can try and gather a little bit, considering I can also light a fire if you're not there.
I'm going to be gathering rocks and making the fire pit, so I just need the wood for that.
And I'm going fishing.
Go on fishing. All right, so I will, I guess, start setting up camp.
All right. Yeah. Sounds like a plan.
Pretty sure Helene.
Go team.
She's distracted by, I'm pretty sure, pixies.
Pixies.
So,
Pixies.
Actually, as you start looking around, specifically
Trauma
for her, like
benefits help.
you actually don't see her at the moment.
I'm sure she'll be fine.
Yeah. Mysterious ways.
Oh, look. I think I spot her.
But yeah, no, as you look around, like right now, you actually don't see Helene.
Okay.
So,
Yeah, I'm off.
but you're fishing. You guys are looking. So I think you guys are just continuing this for the next like 2 hours.
Yeah.
Yeah, just
so
like
prepping-
scrounging for resources, prepping, and then moving a little bit. and
Prepping
then
the
just-
camp, trying to find any surface food I can find.
Yeah.
Okay.
The more satellite camps we have on here, on this island, the easier it'll be to stockpile resources.
All right. So for the two of you, go ahead and roll survival again if you're trying to find some more
Ooh, not as
nutrients.
good.
With fishing! Go dance!
14 this time.
14. All right.
So that's
Yeah, that was awful.
21 or a... Yeah, I'll go with the 21.
21. So, Boz, as you're looking around, there actually seems to be a very noticeable lack of any real edible vegetation on the side of the island.
I think we landed on the correct side of the island.
And as you're kind of looking around, go ahead and roll me a intelligence check as well.
Okay, that's not bad. Let's see what I can get. Oh, 19.
19. You actually kind of see that there's signs that, everything here should have, like it could support everything. But a significant time ago, you can tell that the ground, especially being a druid of the land, you can tell that the ground has been disturbed in certain ways, and that there probably once was some edible vegetation here, but it's been picked clean. But it was long ago enough that the foliage is starting, and the surrounding trees are starting to regrow over those spots.
Interesting.
You find. Go roll me another 20 to see the quality of fish.
Yeah, that'll be 2.
It's you. Much of the same, but some of it starts going into like sea cucumber levels. It's like it's edible, but
Found
it's.
some mollusks.
So it doesn't matter.
I did bring
But you
some,
still get enough food,
Okay.
and it is edible.
I did bring the yams with me, so.
Yes. All right. So you guys are wanting to continue this until about nightfall.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
All right.
Yeah.
So
I'll collect my wood, but then I will actually, as I'm going around, I do want to kind of try and look around as I'm getting the rest of the wood for Helene, because now there's that little bit of paranoia starting to set in. Like, where'd she go?
all right. Go ahead and roll an investigation.
9.
9.
18.
18.
Oh.
You don't see any sign of her. So
Anyone that passes by Azure at this point sees a look of paranoia and stress deeply written on Azure's face.
Who was the last person to see her?
I walked by with my fish. What's the matter? Got the runs.
No, we haven't seen Helene back at camp in a while, and considering...
Yeah, she's pretty crafty. I'm sure she'll find her way back.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, you know, if by the time the food's ready, if she ain't back, then yeah, we'll probably start looking. But I'm
you
just
hear,
gonna.
You hear Furious Phillies call out, "Is everything all right over there? Does one of you have the runs? If so, please go more in the forest. I don't
Yeah,
want
I
to
think he's got the runs. I mean, just look at the look in his eyes. That's
I
it's
wouldn't
either-
go into the water. You never know what's going to be attracted
God.
to that.
true. It is a feeding frenzy for those creatures.
I don't
it's
understand
actually quite
the look on
gross.
his face.
I don't understand.
You just hear like Phillies says, like he looks over and sees you and just like, I don't think I understand his face either.
Yes. Did you get some kindling or anything?
You like look startled, just like, oh, we weren't supposed to hear that. Yeah, they're kindling. I'll get right on that. Yes, thank you. And he goes off, and you see him start like yanking some like live grass off. Probably
my
not the best
gosh.
for kindling,
Just,
but
just grabbing everything that's near the camp.
yeah,
This will
Anything
burn
that-
eventually.
Anything that's probably flammable, that's what he's doing.
Then Boz gives him a good nod like that, but he still doesn't understand a single word he's saying.
All right, so with that, night settles, night comes, darkness hits, and Helene is nowhere to be found.
All right, now it's dark and Helene's still gone.
Uh-huh.
Oh, shit, we better go looking.
I will
Phileas kind of goes, it's like,
Now I'm lost
I-
in the woods.
I'm gonna
No.
get.
I don't know if that would be best.
Why is
Again, I've never
when
seen
you're
anything dangerous. It might be riskier to actually. It might just be better to wait for daytime at this point.
Well,
No,
I'll head to
I-
the
if
beach
there's-
and then come back. And if I don't spot anything, or if I feel like there's an omnipresent sense of danger, I'll come back and say something. But it's just more of a caution, really, than anything else. And I'm gonna grab a little bit of the hemp material that we had, and I'm just gonna wrap it around the nearby stick that we were about to burn, and I'll catch that on fire and just go out, use a basic rudimentary torch, and just make a lap to the beach and then come back.
Okay.
Hopefully before the torch burns out.
Azure is, as night approached quicker and quicker, you see that look of paranoia. Not as much
Little
out
friends
of that normal,
gone.
like, where is she? But almost as if something else is deeply rooted in him. You don't, none of you are really able to immediately tell why, but there is something that's deeply stressing out Azure at this point.
How is Azure displaying that?
You see him holding his sword a little bit more tighter than he would, just as he's kind of looking around and keeping any form of watch. You see his face almost a little bit more, what is it,
Alert.
forced than anything. There's a little bit more of that, like, I'm holding my face together.
I'm keeping my
a tight
composure.
grip on my sword. Yeah, I'm keeping
I don't
my
think he's
composure.
taking care of his runs.
But he's not very good
He's
at
holding
hiding
that shit in.
So it's fairly obvious that he's trying to keep composure and that there's something that's bugging
So is
him.
this going on?
Who knows? Maybe Helene had the runs, guys. Okay, just give her a
Boz
break.
is just
Yeah.
he's listening to it. And he just immediately turns into a dog, hound dog, and he sniffs some of Helene's stuff and then starts hunting for her.
Well, there wouldn't have been really any of Helene's stuff for you to sniff.
I was gonna say all the stuff
I
we
didn't
have is on
bring
us.
anything.
Yeah,
But he's going by memory then of the scent.
the best attempt for it. Okay.
You vaguely remember what I smell like?
Well, even more than that, that's a dog.
Sweat and blood.
Yeah, he was.
I mean, what we could no, because it would be at the other camp. I was gonna say we might still have any of her others in the clothes that she was originally wearing.
But yeah, that's all at the
That would
other
be at
camp.
the other camp,
I
yeah.
just want to make a line with light going to the beach and then coming back. And if I don't pick her up, then I'll just wait at camp.
Okay. So go ahead and let's have Maz and Boz both roll perception checks. Or actually, I'm going to say investigation, but both a disadvantage. One, because at this time for Maz, it's because it's now night. You've got a limited light source, so you're really just trying to
Right.
find something, but you just don't have a big...
More or less trying to be the beacon. It's
Yeah.
just like a guiding
He was
post.
trying to go for perception, smell based.
Yeah.
So even with that, though, because there's no guide, because you don't have any like straight scent to go off of, and you're just trying to pick up something, I'm still gonna say a disadvantage because you guys also really don't know each other very well too. This isn't an ingrained scent.
No. So
I've been living with this person for weeks. I know what she stinks like.
4 and 4.
14 for the sniffing.
Okay.
For the sniffing.
The
Hey, it's a
sniffing.
sniff test.
Oh, is this? Can I
Are
use
you
my
smelling?
sniffer?
You
that
could probably use your sniffer for this.
Because if I can,
I
use my
will
sniffer-
allow because you're your sniffer and you know I will allow it for this one.
Well, I rolled
Drunk
an
to the ground.
I rolled an 8. Either way, I rolled a 5 and a 3 with the guidance, or a 4 and a 4,
8 and a 19 plus 6.
which brings my total to 6.
Okay, so 14
Yeah.
and 6. All right.
No
With
guidance
the
because of the dog.
14, I'll say you don't see anything, but
This is investigation, right?
but for yeah, this is investigation. Yeah, Boz. I'm gonna slightly like eerie. As you're going, you start smelling stuff that's different, and it's hard to tell if it's Helene or if it's something else. But at that moment, you also catch a second whiff. And this one all of a sudden becomes completely unknown. So there's now 2 smells that you pick up. One is very unknown, and the other one seems more standard. Maybe it's Helene. But both of them are starting to come more from the forest.
So he's gonna lead Maz in the direction he sees the sense from.
Okay.
Are all 3 of you out looking, or is it just you 2?
I'm making the straight line, and then I'm heading back to camp. And then, if you're not back at camp, then I'll wait for somebody else to show up.
Okay. And Philly's
Okay,
staying
so
at
you're
camp.
going to the
Yeah.
beach, and then you're coming back to the camp. Okay. And
Yeah,
he's going out into the
The
forest.
dog's gonna take a quick search, and then if it doesn't get any better or worse, he'll come back.
Okay. So, with a 14, you find yourself like starting to enter into the forest as you have 2 distinct scents. One of them you start to pick up, and you're pretty sure this is a Helene scent. And then there's another one that just, it's muskier. It seems more like I think that's just the best way to put it. It's like kind of muskier of a scent. Nothing you've ever like really smelled before. And then at that same time, as you're starting to go in and maybe having that thought of, okay, I can maybe let's check in a little more and all that, you catch a third scent. And this third scent is one of salt and almost like fish.
That's strange being this far down into the ocean. Into the
It
jungle.
is strange.
Okay, so
Shit, is something hunting me?
yeah, so
I'm gonna get eaten, guys.
he will make 2 quick barks. Hopefully, Helene will hear a dog, which shouldn't hear a dog, but then he'll head back. He's going to he's got a movement speed of 40 as a dog. He will be dashing.
Okay.
He's smaller and able to navigate the forest better.
All right. So everyone hears these 2 loud barks just kind of echo across the silence of the beaches, as everyone else who's gone back to camp.
How far does that echo? Would I hear that?
I would
pitch,
say, roll me a perception check.
No.
Okay.
No, I did not.
Terrible.
You did not. Given your current location.
And a 2?
Yeah, and out of 2.
Yeah.
There's a lot of other things that your character's focused on right now, And maybe it was even a sound that was processed or
was
that
the pixies.
came to you, but just wasn't actually processed and recognized. So at this time, night has now fully hit. Helena's gone, and Boz, having turned into a bloodhound, has caught what seems to be Helene's scent, a muskier scent, and the scent of salt and almost a fish-like sense, all coming now from the forest as a chilled northern wind kind of blows down. And that's where we're going to go ahead and end the episode tonight. So, thank you everyone for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. We're going to see where this turns in next time because things can go a lot of different ways, and I'm excited for it to come. But thank you for tuning in. I hope you enjoyed it. Once again, we are to die for. Hope to see you next time.
Hey.
See ya. Bye. Have a beautiful
Bye.
day.
Bye-bye. Bye-bye now.